It's been busier, story after story and after story. Welcome back, guys. Yeah, let's continue. I hope you will enjoy this session. But anyway, it's been busier, like story after story after story, and I'm trying to catch up. Just in 4 months, just only in 4 months, we have had so major stories, right? I'm gonna go through some stories, and then I know you know some of those stories, but just bear with me. The first one was when Mkwanazi, wearing this uniform, went on public, and then he says, "Guys, there's something bad that's happening in our government or in the police department. Look what's happening. Even the person who's running that police force is also corrupt." He was talking about the minister. There was a lot of noise. We were all shocked. We were like, what? We don't even know that this was happening. And he was like, no, I'm going to keep you in confidence and tell you what's happening in that department. Right? That story was so big enough that Reuters, these guys, the ones that are worldwide known, they are every part of the world knows these guys. And then they posted, and then they say, this is what's happening. President Ramaphosa is trying to remove the minister of police because allegedly he is corrupt. And then we were like, wow, we're still trying to digest that. While that is still happening, while we're still trying to talk about that and then get into the gist of it, now this happened. Now, apparently, someone says someone was trying to bribe me with the 60,000. I was like, what? I started to ask myself, what even is this IDT? What does it have to do with me? Because I did not understand what IDT has to do with me. And I found that in that IDT, there's a lot that is happening. We can't even comprehend it. While that is still going on, then they say, no, because Mkwanazi has said that about the police minister, we are going to put the Matlanga Commission. We want to get into the root of all these issues. And maybe we will fix them, maybe we will not fix them. But then the commission will give us a chance to identify if whatever he allegedly said is true or it's not true. Then I was like, okay, let's listen to this Matlanga Commission. Let's try to follow this story. And then maybe we will find one or two things that are happening in our country. While that is still happening, all of a sudden in all social medias, you open in SABC News, in every news channel, you see blue Lamborghinis and a mention. What is happening now? They say now, these blue Lamborghinis, the SIU, they say we are going to seize them because allegedly, again, they are linked to the 2 billion that has been corrupted in the Tembisa hospital. I was like, I can't keep up with this thing. I cannot keep up with this thing. What is happening to our country? Just in 4 months, we have unveiled so much. Now, this guy called News Life SA posted this picture or this video and then says, this is what's happening with the SIU or with the seizing of Hangwan Maumera's properties. And then when he posted that video, I was like, all right, let me participate. I want to put in some 2 cents in there just to be part of the community and what is going on, right? When I wanted to hit that post button, then the SIU came to that News Live SA guy and they say, hey, my guy, why are you posting this video and then not recognizing us? At least give us some credit. I don't know if he responded or not. I just give up and like, no, I'm not going to post anything now because now people are also owning this content. Don't want to be part of that now. When it was more quiet, I was like, let me come in. Maybe this time it can be an opening for me to put in my 2 cents because it's a little bit quiet. Then I saw this post of the Reverend when he posted that. So I'm going to paraphrase. So car dealers and banks, don't you ask questions when you hand out these cars? The people went in to that tweet and then they started asking. And then they started even mentioning that no, pastors don't even buy cars. They get cars as gifts and all those things. I was like, hey, since I'm also not a pastor, but someone related to the church. Let me minimize myself. I'm not going to participate into posting this thing. I was like, bye-bye, guys. I'm out. But then when I sat down, I realized, man, so much is happening to South Africa, and it's happening in a fast pace. If in these 4 months, this has happened, just in 4 months, and this has happened, what's going to happen to us in the next 5 years? What's going to happen to us? Something needs to be done, because if we let it happen the same way it's happening now, it's only a matter of time we're not going to exist anymore. We're going to be history. We are going to be called, there was once a country called South Africa, and then 1, 2, 3 things happened and no one said anything about it, or some part of people said something about that. I was like, okay, maybe, let me leave this participation or commenting about these things to the pros, to the people who understand politics better than I, people who understand the running of the government better than I, because I have no clue of how to run a government. I have no clue how it's even run. I don't know how much impact this has to us, but I know. I tried to go to ChatGPT and say, hey man, tell me, if this is happening on this pace, what's going to happen to us in the next 5 years? It was like, if this continue, then ChatGPT tells me, like, man, if this continue to happen like this for the next 5 years, it's going to chase away investors. Like, how? And he says, no, even jobs, people, more and more people are going to lose jobs. Like, I did not know that. And then he says, no, people don't want to invest where there's a lot of corruption. Like, then, this is scary then. This is scary because we have kids that were growing, we have relatives that are looking for jobs, we have brothers, we have sisters that are also looking for jobs. What's going to happen to them if there are no jobs in the future? Yet alone, we are not even able to accommodate even them now in our current state, where things are still at least better, but in the next few years, they are not going to be better, all right? And I was like, okay, let me do like this. Does it mean that should I participate? Should I post something? Should I say something? Or should I just leave it like that? But when I think about this, the country is getting worse and worse. Speaking about worse and worse, there in Israel, once upon a time, there was a king called Joram. He did not follow God. When he did not follow God, then God was like, okay, I'm out. Let me let you do what you think is the best. Joram was a child of Ahab and Jezebel. We all know Jezebel. There's so many songs even about Jezebel. Then there was a famine in Jerusalem when Joram was a king, right? The cause of the famine was this. There was this other country, or I think it's Assyrians. The Assyrians, they came into Jerusalem and then says that we are going to lay a siege around Jerusalem because it's a declaration of a war. We are going to lay a siege. Once we lay a siege, we're trying to control who is able to trade in with Jerusalem and able to trade out with Jerusalem. So this is the similar concept like what Trump was proposing or was wanted to do to South Africa. I don't know if that has took place, where he was imposing tariffs, right? He's trying to block us to be able to make trades with them. But then this is a similar structure, but then I'm not there today. I'm on something else. So they say, no, we are going to lay a siege. Once we lay a siege, no one is supposed to come in and nothing is supposed to go out. No food is supposed to come in. No food is supposed to go out. So whatever they grew inside the country, they can use it. It's okay. But then they are not going to sell whatever they have in the country to the neighboring countries, as well as the neighboring countries are not going to sell anything to them. So now, when the siege was continuing, it lasted for longer and longer. Now, the resources started to get depleted inside the country. Now, Jerusalem, things are starting to get expensive, like way too much expensive. They say even a head of a donkey was too much expensive, right? I could not convert those the currency to nowadays currency. By the way, when they were saying that, I could understand that, yeah, it means it was very expensive. Just a head of a donkey. Things were starting to be worse. Now, these things, when they were happening, started to affect the people living inside the city, the children, the mothers, the husbands, right? There's even a scenario there when all this was happening. There were two women. These two women, they decided that we don't have food anymore. So what we need to do is that you kill your son and then we eat it. And I will kill my son the following day or the following weeks, and then we will eat my son. All right? I think the story goes somewhere like that. It was tough. If things get to that extreme, it means that they are very tough. We can see that we don't get jobs anymore. We are just fighting for jobs as a country. We are fighting for food as a country. Things are the price of bread now, you can't comprehend it. The price of petrol, you can't comprehend it. This is almost the similar situation as that one of Israel, right? Because things are not affordable now. You can't even buy a house. When you want to buy a German car, all of them, their prices are like 1 million and beyond. Tough world to live in. Lucky enough, we have not started eating our own children. That siege went on and on and on. And then when those two women called to the king and say, "Amen, king, can you please assist us?" He says these words in a paraphrase: "Am I God who's going to help you?" Basically, he was saying that I am no God and I'm not going to be able to help you. Only God can take you out of this situation. And then he knows that the reason why, first of all, they are in this situation is because him and his father, they were not following the rules and the principles of God. Then he let it be. And then some days later or some time later, then he had to ask the prophet who was existing at the time, the prophet Elisha. And then he sent he sent his servants to Elisha and says, "Go fetch that man. At least he must try to interpret what God is trying to do to us, because we are suffering. People are killing people and things are expensive. We can't afford anymore. It's now affecting the kings." That's only when he started to affect the kings. Then he started to run to Elisha. When people go to Elisha, Elisha already knows that they are coming here because of this situation. Then Elisha came to the king. And when he came to the king, he said, "Tomorrow at this time, God is going to open the floodgate of heaven. Once he opened these floodgates of heaven, he's going to release the blessing. And this is what the blessing is going to be. He's going to make that whatever is expensive today, tomorrow it will be way cheaper. Like extremely cheaper." Now, the other guy who's a companion with the king, or the servant of the king, standing by the king, he says that this is not going to happen. Not even if he opens the floodgates of heaven, this is not going to happen tomorrow. And then Elisha says that, "No, actually, because you are not believing it, you're going to see it, but you're never going to taste the fruits thereof." And then now the following day came. When the following day came, something amazing happened, or something special happened, right? Because everyone was affected by the situation of the country. Some way, somehow, whatever happens to your country will affect you. Even though you are going to ignore it, just know that it's going to touch you, or maybe your children. Your children are not going to have proper jobs in the next 5 years. They are not going to have even food to eat in the next 5 years. But this is what has happened, which is amazing. There were 4 men, very sick, not involved in the country's politics. They were sent to stay outside of the gate, right? They had no knowledge of what's going in the city because no one wanted to talk with them. They were of no clue how they just see that things are getting worse and worse, and they are also getting affected, even though they are outside the gates, because they are also not getting food. But they have no way, no means. Even the hungry people inside the city did not want them. No one tolerated them. Even the families did not want them. So they were staying outside the gate. 4 of them sick, no food, with lepers. So now, one of them said to the other, "We're gonna die here." And then the other one like, "No, but we are not supposed to die here. Or do we want to die here?" The other one like, "But what are we gonna do? We are doomed anyway. I mean, we are sick. We can't do anything on our own. Who's gonna even help us?" Then the other one, maybe the fourth one this time, they were like, "But we can try, man. I mean, we are dying anyway. What does it help to sit down and die here? Is it not better?" Because I heard that there's a country that laid a siege, and it's laying a siege around us. So what if we go to them, and when we get to them, maybe we can, the least we can do, we can ask for food. If they kill us, they're gonna kill us. We are dead anyway. So we are just waiting for our days to come that we're gonna die. And then they agreed. And then they're like, we're going to march. Then they wake up. They decided to go to the Assyrian camp. When they were marching into the Assyrian camp, this is now where God intervened. He amplified their footsteps. Now, the people camping on the other side, on the Assyrian camp, they heard a noise of soldiers coming. And then they were terrified. They were like, "No, it's going to happen. It's going to go down, and we are not ready." We did not know. We were not thinking that these people can regain their strength and then try to come and fight us. Then all of them, they ran away. Not even one of them was left behind. When the 4 lepers get to that station, they found it was empty. So much food, so much gold, everything is just there. And then they were like, "Okay, let's help us. Let's just eat. And then we're going to go call the guys." And then they went and called the guys. And then when the guys came in here, they found that indeed it has happened. That day, it was a breakthrough. And that day, God prevailed. He came and then he delivered the country. Had they decided not to participate, because that's it, right? That's just it. We don't want to participate. We don't even want to know, but it's going to happen. When they increase VAT, it's going to affect us. When the country has no money, it's going to affect us. Even the children that we have, they are going to be affected. We like it or we don't like it. It's going to happen. And then now this story reminded me of a young Christian. Now, this story reminded me of a young Christian Methodist teacher by the name of Enoch Sontonga. When he wrote, he was a composer. When he wrote Nkosi, Sikelel, Africa, the song that is now adopted by South Africa to the national anthem, it was first adopted by the ANC. In almost of their meetings, when I do some digging, I find that they were singing that song. Amongst many of the songs, they chose that one to be a closure song for their meetings. When just the lyrics of this song, when they say, "God bless Africa," and then there's another part from those lyrics where it says, "Hear our prayers, Eva imitandazo, hear our prayers." When Enoch Sontonga wrote this song, he was only 24 years old. It was even adopted by some of the southern regions like Zimbabwe back then, before 1994 or 1995. They used to sing this as their anthem. And so is in some of the 4 countries that also use the same song, that God help bless Africa. Why not any other song? Why the song that is praying to God. The cure of South Africa is nowhere else but in God. We can ignore this fact, or we can try to reason around this fact. It's okay. But the cure of what is happening right now in our country is only God. And this chap, Enoch Sontonga, realized that if God do not hear our prayers, we are not going to be blessed. If God does not intervene, we are not going to be blessed. This song, it does not say that raise a leader that's going to help us, raise a party maybe that's going to help us. I mean, the focus that he has was that God bless Africa. Can you bless us? We have forgotten that it's only God that is a solution to these or our problems. And how do we get to seek God? It's that each and every one of us, all of us, participate. Like those 4 lepers, like Enoch Sontonga, who was just merely 24, a Methodist teacher, a Christian guy, where he realized that we need God and we need to participate. We need to bring in our 2 cents. No matter how we're going to be judged, we will learn along the way. We are going to learn. And one of the good days, we are going to grasp how these things works. And when we grasp them, no one is going to stop us. If we do not participate, there are consequences. We have seen our neighboring countries. We are seeing the children of our neighboring countries flocking into South Africa to find refuge or to find food, because wherever they are coming from, they were people back then who decided that we are just not going to participate, or we are just going to leave it as it be, and then nature will decide its course. God bless Africa. But anyway, what shall we say then? Amen.